Welcome back to the 100 share YieldMax challenge. This series is to track what would happen if you had bought 100 shares of all the YieldMax ETFs starting in December of 2024. Today is the weekend of Group B. So Group B just paid this past week. And let's take an overview of our portfolio. And we had a good, because look at this. BABO is positive after it paid, so it has gained more than the payout was, so this is excellent. DIPS is slightly under, but it's close to its payment. And let's see, GDXY and JPMO are also positive after payment week, so that's good. A couple of laggards, but that's to be expected. So let's take a look at individually. BABO paid a dividend of $1.92. That sounds high. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. So it went from $1.20, 80, 70, 40, 40, and back up to $1.91. So they must have made some good money on their weeklies. And let's go to DIPS. DIPS is up to 113 shares at a current price of $11.99. And it paid 58 cents on an $11 stock. That's not bad. 50, 50, 50. So that's right in line. So that one's nice and steady. You're at a 50% return. That's with the falling price down to, like I said, $11.99. And it has stayed close. So after payment, we have 4 weeks for it to come back up. Meta FBY. What did we do there? 48 cents. 43.7 on the return, and it's been up and down. Had a couple of good payments, and then a couple of 30s, or a 30 and a couple 40s. So 47's fairly in line. GDXY. 109 shares, $14.81 on an average price of $14.56. So that's excellent. Holding its value, 44-cent return. It's a 36% return on the dividend, but you can see it bounces up and down, and 44 cents, 50, 34, 37, 40. So 44 is okay. Like I said, it's in that 30% range. JPMO is at 107 shares, and it is up a hair, so that's good. We'd like to see that. Dividends of 30 cents. Yields down to 26, so that's coming down a little. But it's had a lot of 30, 40 cent payments. And that one, the stock is probably, when you have the consistent price in there, that's just the volatility of that stock isn't as high, so they can't make as much money on writing the covered calls. Morrow. Oh boy. Oops, sorry. What happened to Morrow? They went from almost 40 down to 26. The MARA option. So that one's underlying is not doing well at all. We can look at that over in the financials. Dividend still got a dividend of 156, which is a 40% return. And you can see this one's only had a few payments. So 2, and it's dropping 240, 210, 150. So yeah, see, they're down to Yield on cost is 47. So that's not the best. MRNY is up to 119 shares, almost 120, so that's good. Unfortunately, look at our price, 317. That's really kind of gonna be hard to do anything with. Look at that, 23-cent yield, but on a $3 stock, you're getting 23 cents, which is 116% yield. So, you know, it's not terrible. It's holding consistently in the 20s for dividends. So if you had, with a low value stock like that, if most of the NAV decay or erosion is baked in, that one might be something to look at. NVIDIA had a fun week. It's back up to 1814, and we have 117 shares. They paid 161, which I believe is a little higher. They're still up in the 96% return rate because they've had some good ones in the past. Yeah, see, last was 82, 89, so it jumped back up to 160. So that's where we like that one to be. As you can see, it's had a lot of dividends in the dollars. The last 2 months when the stock market has gone down and the volatility in the underlying has gone down, it's been harder for them to get as much value for their covered calls. And last but not least, PLTY with a dividend. This is the one paid huge, $5.94. Let's go back and look at its stock price. It dropped $10, but it only paid $5 on the dividend. So that's, oh, Palantir, that's right. Palantir had a rough few weeks. Actually, rough last month. They've really dropped. And as you can see, 233, 293, and then 590. So it still pays a good value. It's still up in the 90% range. And our overall portfolio cost basis is $30,288 with a market value of $27,260. So it's about $3,000 under. And here's the one. Let's see, what was Palantir had the rough month. Let's take a look at their monthly. Yeah, look at that drop off from over 100. Where are we at? 90 down to 61. So that's kind of what hurt that one. What did BABO do since it did so well this week? Let's take a look at the last month. Oh, see, nice. Some nice gains. Gave a little back, but don't forget, that's when it paid the dividend, so naturally it fell. So it's still in the $20 range, so that might be fun to watch next week. Here's our 6 month. You see it had a high back in October and then slow decline. It had a rebound, and now we're back down to 20. I believe this one's initial starting was around 20. It started at 20. Now I did this. This is Google Sheets. These are our initial investments. So this is what we started with. The dividend tracker doesn't track your initial investment, so I did it here so we can keep track of that. So we started with $22,534. So the value of the portfolio is actually up, and the difference is when you do a drip or when you reinvest your dividends, you're buying at the price. So every week you're paying like around this price, and then dips paid $11.99 when it reinvested as dividends. So when you're in here, this is just the start price, and we'll go to the BABO tab. Here's your start, 100 shares with your initial investment. we've had 3 payments, and you can see number of shares went up to 115, and it has gone up in price. And then this column is, this is your value currently of your shares, which is B10, 150, your total shares times the cost. That's all that one is. Here's your dividends. Your dividend payments, this is the cash value, because so 45 cents on 100 shares, you got the 45. Then you did 47 cents on your 102 and $1.92 on the 105. That payment was 202, and that's how you ended up with these shares. And then people refer to it as house money. And what that is how much you've made in dividends versus your initial start. This column is obviously with the DRIP, the dividend reinvestment, which is why if this is no DRIP, this is just if you took every week, you took the dividend times 100 shares, you'd get the 47,192. So this would be your monthly payment. You would got a 45, a 47, a 192, and that is 16.5% of your total or initial investment. And with DRIP, you're at 17.17% of your initial investment. So as you can see, the further into this you get, the greater separation you'll have between with and without DRIP as far as a percentage of return. But this also gives you, if you wanted to use a dividend vehicle for, say, making a car payment, and you wanted to know how much you'd get. Obviously, 100 shares is only going to be $45 a month. But if you did something crazy, like said, hey, let's go invest 1,000. So then your payments would be $450, $470, $1920. So you'd off a $17,000 initial. So this is something you can use in the future. If you're new to it, talk to a professional, but I recommend just buying a few. You can start with 10 and just see how it does, because over time some of these can really earn some money in the 10-year plan. Okay, dips, we are at $12.91 with reinvestment, $12.36 without. We have $159 versus $166. FBY, we are at 8.27, so this one's not doing great. What's our initial investment is up, so we invested initially $1,937, and we have now the investment is worth $2,054. So we are up. Now obviously this is all with DRIP. So remember, this is your non-DRIP column over here. GDXY, we are at 9.79 and 9.49. So those are almost 10% in 3 months, 3 payments. So as you can see, and these will more than hopefully double every 3 months. If we get consistent returns with the DRIP, that separation should grow. JPMO, we're at 7.25 and 7.1, so you've made $129 in monthly payments on just your investment, with reinvest in $130, $179. Morrow is taking a big loss. As you can see, we are down to 3,150. And we're at 15% return on, don't forget, that's just the initial 100 against the 100 shares. MRNY, is 15 and 14.65. So 25, 75, and 79. So low price, but a high percentage, which is why you're at 15, because you're almost up to 120 shares already, and that's only in 3 payments. So I kind of like that. NVIDIA's done good. They have that high NAV, or the high volatility, so we're up to 117, 14 and a half, and 13.87. So if you had just purchased 100, you would be getting consistently an average of a little over $100 a month, which, gas money, whatever. And then Payday 18, see, we're up to 120 already. And look at these returns: 359, 289, 594. If you invested $7,000, a little over $7,000 in that, and you had credit card debt, and you were using this to add to your credit card payment, you can pay that puppy off in a nice fashion. That would make a nice debt accelerator. Alrighty, that is the week of Group B payment. Remember, I'm just giving you information, not advice. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not telling you to buy any of these funds. I have no interest in this company or in anything on here. It's just something I like to do, and I hope you enjoy following along on this journey with me. I'm going to go ahead and end it here today. We will have Group C next week. As you can see, they're all trying to get close to that recovery. If we have a green week in the market, we might have a few recoveries in the green. But we will see you in the next video. Thanks for joining. Hey, do me a favor. Be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. It really helps the YouTube gods to direct people to my channel. And enjoy your week.